KUAM TV8, home of Super Bowl 60, coming February 9th, 2026. KUAM News headlines are presented by Calvo's Insurance, protecting Micronesia for 85 years. Matson and the Adai Itano program. Apply at matson.com and McDonald's of Guam. I'm loving it.
On KUAM News Primetime.
The governor speaking out for the first time in an interview about her concerns over deep-sea mining in the Marianas, and Mitsuki Hirayama with why she says this proposal is moving too fast and what the community can do next.
Education Oversight Chair Senator Vince Borja responds to GDOE's fiscal year 2024 audit, calling for accountability and major education reform. More coming up tonight.
A new art exhibit at the KUAM Museum is highlighting the powerful connection between water, culture, and climate justice in the Marianas. I'm Nevaeh Anderson with the story coming up.
From the KUAM studios here in Harmon to Guamanians throughout the planet, Hafa everybody. I'm Jason Salas. This is KUAM News Primetime, and these are tonight's top stories. Well, the governor is speaking out for the first time in an interview about her concerns over the federal deep-sea mining proposal. And this news comes as two important events are being held tomorrow for you, the members of the community, to voice your concerns ahead of a looming deadline, which is just days away. Tonight's top story is with Mitsuki Hirayama.
In her first interview directly addressing a fast-moving proposal for deep-sea mining in the Marianas, Governor Lou Leon Guerrero speaks out on the lacking federal engagement.
I am pleading, we are as leaders, to respect our rights to our waters here and respect our livelihood here, and not to do anything until there's some very engaging discussions about the impact and the science behind it.
This as two important events will be held in Hagåtña on Wednesday to help the community to weigh in on the federal proposal. First, the Guam legislature will hold a public hearing for a resolution at 8:30 a.m. urging the U.S. government to halt their plans. Then from 4 to 8 p.m., the governor and lieutenant governor will host a workshop to help residents draft comments before the January 12th deadline.
We as leaders have united to make a very strong statement to BOEM that we do not approve this, and that we strongly request a stay and a pause until more evidence, scientific evidence and data is garnered.
As reported, the U.S. Bureau of Ocean Energy Management has proposed opening more than 35 million acres of federal waters for mineral extraction. This area includes waters near Guam and Rota. Last month, Leon Guerrero and CNMI Governor David Apatang requested a 120-day extension, but the federal government only granted 30 days, which the governor says is not enough.
I think federal should have given us the full 120 days because this is a very serious issue. It will impact our seabeds, it will impact our marine ecosystem, it would impact our food chain, it would impact our economy, our livelihood, not just Guam and CNMI, but throughout the Pacific region here.
The governor says she only learned about the proposal after it was made public when the comment period was already underway.
I have spoken to Principal Assistant Secretary William Hague, who oversees Guam, and I expressed our deepest and most serious concern about this deep sea mining and how we were not even involved in any of the discussions.
The MAGA hog also spoke about Guam's limited control over waters beyond 3 miles offshore. She says the U.S. government can, quote, come over and take over its waters.
I think they're set on pushing this forward. I really do. You know, I mean, it's moving really fast. I mean, American Samoa, you know, they're already talking about leasing property. And they already have corporate people that are interested in leasing those properties.
As for what a fair arrangement would look like,
I would like them to have at the table our discussions and our interests at the table, and that we are part of the decision.
If the mining proposal moves ahead and Guam is burdened with the impacts, Leon Guerrero says the territory should demand a significant share of any profits.
1% is nothing in an industry that could probably yield billions of dollars, right? So that has to be also seriously discussed.
Meantime, her workshop Wednesday will include several environmental experts who will provide insight on deep-sea mining and its impact. Community members are encouraged to attend and submit their comments before the January 12th deadline. Mitsuki Hirayama, KUAM News.
We as leaders continue to fail, and that includes the legislature, past administrations, and the Guam Education Board. Those are the candidate assessment. The words coming from Education Oversight Chairman Senator Vince Borja following the release of the Guam Department of Education's fiscal year 2024 audit, sparking renewed efforts for major education reform. Our next report is with Destiny Cruz-Langes.
We have failed and something has to change. That's the response from Education Oversight Chair Senator Vince Borja following the recent release of the Guam Department of Education's fiscal year 2024 audit.
Obviously, when you look at the audit, I mean, they're looking at things from 24 and later, which is why you look at the surplus and how large it is they just don't have the bandwidth to spend the money that they get, and which is unacceptable, because at the end of the day, they always come back. And you've been here long enough to know they're always coming back and saying, we need more money or we're going to run out of money.
Borja pointing out that repeated emergency funding requests have obscured deeper systemic failures in budgeting, planning, execution, and internal controls. He stresses the need for stronger accountability within the education system, something he says has been challenging due to significant turnover in GDOE's executive leadership, as highlighted in the audit.
We know that the current structure is not working when we look at operations and accountability. And so those are the discussions. I have my opinion on what I want to do. We're deliberating that with the committee, the education committee here at the legislature. There are some different things that we're considering.
Among the options being explored are strengthening the responsibilities of the Guam Education Board, transferring more control to the executive branch, restructuring the board to be fully appointed, and establishing a centralized state education office. Borja has led these conversations on the future governance of GDOE recently.
I want to be able to have this discussion with the board as well. They're not all going to agree with what the legislature may propose. They have publicly, their position may change now that Dr. Swanson is gone, but when he was here, they were like, get rid of the board. We have no power. There's nothing we can do. We can't do anything. If you give us more power, then we can do more things, but if not, then there's no need for the board.
The education chair adding that he believes most of his colleagues in the legislature will not support transferring control of GDOE back to the executive branch. Meanwhile, Borja is eager to hear tangible solutions from new GDOE Superintendent Dr. Judy Wanpat. In response to the audit, Wanpat said, quote, "My leadership team and I recognize the importance of these audit results and are fully committed to implementing recommendations that enhance transparency, accountability, and compliance with all laws and regulations." Destiny Cruz-Langes, KUAM News.
All right, Destiny, thanks so much for that report. And if you'd like to comment on this story, please make sure to check us out on social media at KUAM News on all platforms. Well, moving on in our rundown, the defense attorney for 2025 murder suspect Gregory Romero requested more time to review a lengthy forensic evaluation, prompting a Superior Court judge to postpone further proceedings on Monday. Romero appeared by way of Zoom from the Department of Corrections before Judge Maria Senzon. He stands accused in the fatal shooting of Keo Resi Cruz Tayano in June 2025 over at GPO's parking lot in Tamuning. The incident was allegedly captured on surveillance and social media footage, with Romero facing charges of aggravated murder and aggravated assault as a second-degree felony with a special allegation involving the use of a deadly weapon. He remains held on cash bail of $1 million. Defense attorney Heather Martinez-Quirigua told the court she had not yet fully reviewed the December 10th forensic evaluation with her client and only recently received additional discovery material from Romero's former attorney, Gloria Rudolph, shortly before Christmas. The prosecution said the assigned Deputy Attorney General, John David Griffin, had not yet reviewed the evaluation. Her Honor, Judge Senzon granted a brief continuance to allow both sides time to review the materials and to determine the next steps in this case. Well, speaking of Monday, on that day, 44-year-old Andrew Anthony Jones was convicted of attempted burglary and criminal trespass after he tried to steal a government vehicle assigned to the Jigo Mayor's office on Christmas night in 2024. Jurors found Jones guilty of attempted burglary as a second-degree felony and criminal trespass as a misdemeanor. The unanimous verdict marks the first jury conviction of 2026 for the Office of the Attorney General. Judge Alberto Tolentino presided over the trial, with AG Douglas Moylan saying his office will seek a sentence of 11 years in prison. Now, this conviction stemmed from a December 2024 incident at the Jigo Gym, wherein a security guard reported seeing Jones inside a mayor's van, reaching beneath the steering wheel as if attempting to hotwire the vehicle. The guard startled Jones, who fled on foot, with GPD later locating and arresting Jones nearby. Prosecutors said Jones attempted to enter or remain inside the vehicle without permission and with intent to commit theft. The AG's office called the attempted theft a crime against the public, emphasizing a zero-tolerance approach towards repeat offenders. Well, in other crime news this evening, a man is facing felony theft charges after police say he was caught removing items from a closed hotel over in Tumon. A magistrate's complaint does state, filed in Superior Court, that officers responded just before 10 Sunday morning to a reported trespass incident at the former Verona Resort and Spa. Investigators say a security guard spotted a pair of men loading items from inside the building. Gerald Matthew Taraba was moving the items while another man acted as a lookout. When questioned by police, Taraba allegedly admitted taking items and offering to retrieve them from his vehicle. Officers later found a toilet bowl, multiple sinks, and a metal lamp inside the truck. Taraba has been charged with third-degree felony theft. Well, we are just getting started with our broadcast, everybody, so please stay with us. We'll return after this commercial break. You're watching Primetime right here on KUAM.
Say howdy to the new Buffalo Ranch sauce with its tangy creaminess and its creamy tanginess. It's your chicken's perfect partner, only at McDonald's.
Don't need a work break, keep the smile on your face. The moments you can't replace, and I'll be around. Whoa, you can count on me. You can count on me for life.
Wherever life takes you, we're always here for you. Calvo's Insurance. Count on us for life.
Anything's possible. I push to the limits. I climb every wall. I keep on believing. Anything's possible.
If there's one thing we've learned, it's never to underestimate the spirit and strength of the people of our island home. Which is why at Bank of Hawaii, you, your dreams, and your possibilities will always have a home. Reach your possible with Bank of Hawaii.
You're watching KUAM. Welcome back to Primetime, my friends. Well, the Trump administration in national news is defending its decision to carry out a raid in Venezuela to capture the president and his wife to bring them to justice in the U.S. to face criminal charges. Here's more from Capitol Hill.
Venezuela's UN ambassador accused the United States of violating international law with Saturday's military operation that led to the capture and removal of President Nicolas Maduro. U.S. Ambassador to the UN Mike Waltz defended it as a necessary law enforcement operation.
The United States arrested a narco-trafficker who is now going to stand trial in the United States in accordance with the rule of law.
Venezuela's acting president, Delcy Rodriguez, was sworn in Monday and has offered to work with the Trump administration.
We're dealing with the people that just got sworn in, and don't ask me who's in charge, because I'll give you an answer and it'll be very controversial.
What does that mean?
Because we're in charge.
Trump administration officials are briefing a bipartisan group of lawmakers on the military operation, but some have questioned what's next for the U.S.'s role in Venezuela.
Their plan for the U.S. running Venezuela is vague, based on wishful thinking.
The U.S. has always maintained the right to use force to defend our national interest, to preserve the safety of the American people, and to prevent ongoing threats to its security.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio also spoke with his Danish counterpart Monday after President Trump's comments Sunday night about the Danish territory Greenland.
We need Greenland from the standpoint of national security, and Denmark is not going to be able to do it, I can tell you.
Denmark's ambassador to the U.S. posted on social media that Greenland is already a part of NATO and dedicated to the defense of the U.S., while adding his country expects full respect for the territorial integrity of the kingdom. Erica Brown, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Back here at home, the Guam Memorial Hospital Authority is reporting steady progress on multiple facility improvement projects aimed at maintaining a safe and functional environment for patients and staff alike. Hospital officials say work is underway on roof and exterior repairs in key areas, including the ICU, the pediatric ward, and the medical telemetry unit, with additional exterior work planned near the emergency department. Inside Guam's only public hospital, environmental services have completed floor stripping and waxing in ORs, as well as several intensive care rooms, with more patient care areas scheduled in the coming weeks. Construction is also moving forward on the hospital's parking expansion project that we previously reported on, while the installation of new chiller components continues to strengthen critical cooling systems. GMHA officials say the improvements support patient safety, staff efficiency, and long-term sustainability as plans for a new hospital continue. In other island news tonight, water plays a significant role in shaping who we are as an island people, and now a new artivism exhibit at the Guam Museum is using creativity to confront the environmental threats facing our waters and to spark action across Guam's region. Nevaeh Anderson has this story.
As the Marianas grapples with water contamination and environmental challenges, a new exhibit at the Guam Museum aims to spark conversations about the importance of protecting our sacred waters. Tanai Animu brings together artists from across the region to explore water as a lifeline, a memory, and a symbol of resistance.
Now in its second year, Tanai Animu, meaning to give your entire spirit, centers on the theme Sacred Waters. Organized by the Micronesian Climate Change Alliance and Hita Latekzan, the exhibition is an artivism initiative, bridging creative expression with environmental advocacy. More than 30 artists from Tinian, Luta, Saipan, and Guam are featured, examining our waters at a greater depth.
The exhibition looks at water as something that holds memory, but also now carries harm, and also holds possibility for the future.
Exhibit curator Casey Vejado says the works directly respond to urgent realities facing island communities, from contamination and deep seabed mining to aquifer overdrawing in Saipan and accelerating coastal damage across the Marianas. Among the participating artists is Joseph Certeza, a heritage practitioner reflecting on the responsibility island communities share to protect what remains of our most vital resource.
It is only resource that we have left. It is all we got, and any kind of contamination to it, whether it's deodorant or whatever it may be, that's all we have left, and that's something very sacred to us.
For Joshua Barragata, the exhibition is also about giving a voice to the voiceless.
I think what my piece talks about most is how there's a certain amount of us who are maybe have a privilege to be able to do that kind of activism, to be in a protest. And there's a lot of friends of ours and people who, maybe work in DOD or they work close to the military and they want to be there and they can't.
Fellow artist Andrew Gumatautau also challenges how information reaches or fails to reach the public when indigenous knowledge and voices are overshadowed by technical language and rapid development.
What can we do as artists to refuse that knowledge erasure? I think that's something that we have a responsibility to do.
And designer Abby Crane is finding her own ways to engage, blending fashion, movement, and storytelling to draw people in.
People don't read, people don't have all the information, and so this could just be the entryway or the beginning point, just to provoke that initial interest so that they can research a little bit more and get more involved in the community.
The exhibition opens to the public this Saturday, January 10th at the Guam Museum from 3 to 7 p.m. featuring performances, a capsule fashion show, children's activities, and opportunities to take part in water justice efforts across the Marianas. The exhibit runs through February 28th. Nevaeh Anderson, KUAM News.
Now for a look at your world at home.
You know, there's nothing more soothing than an aquarium, and this is a great one put together by the science majors over at the University of Guam in the Science Building.
Now it pays to spread the Better Together experience. With our brand new referral program, you can earn up to $150 in account credits for every referral you bring in. That's right, family, neighbors, friends, even your coworkers. Just pass them your account name and account number. When they sign up for Docomo Pacific service and drop your info, cha-ching! Credit applied. So spread the word and start stacking those savings. Additional conditions may apply. Docomo Pacific, we're better together.
Half a day, everybody. I came down to Talafofo today. We are here in the home of the Royals, Notre Dame High School. I have the athletic director of this wonderful, wonderful school, Erin Escalara. Congratulations on another fantastic school year, and happy third quarter.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so we are back here, and what have you guys got lined up for, across interscholastic sports? Third quarter is always really, really big.
Oh, it's a packed quarter. I think third and fourth quarter sports are definitely packed. We have indoor sports, which is boys basketball, and then outdoor sports. I'm really glad that the beach volleyball and girls rugby is going on, and also I believe it's ISA tennis that's going on as well.
Very nice.
Yes.
Okay, and the banners here, like at Notre Dame, I mean, I remember when I was in high school, in the 90s, ND was always a top school in back when it's still like a purely girls school.
Yes.
Always really, really good in basketball, volleyball. I mean, this school has a tradition of excellence.
Oh, definitely. I guess I've heard it a couple of times since I started here as the athletic director, that ND is the volleyball factory. So I know a lot of my friends from high school that went to ND, they did play volleyball. So it's definitely a strong tradition here. Even soccer and rugby, ND is known for. So.
Yeah, so what is kind of like the legacy of ND, and what is like the real spirit of like a Royal when you put on that uniform? Now especially that it's co-ed school and everything like that, how do you want to make sure that you play the right way and uphold that legacy?
I think the words for any alumni watching, the words "uphold the glory" is definitely something I've seen our student athletes always wear so proudly. And it's in a lot of recently in our uniforms, we put the words "uphold the glory," and I think that's what we see in the spirit when they're on the court or on the field, or even beach volleyball, right in the sand, that they play their heart out and represent Notre Dame.
Anybody who ever went to ND, they're all filling the comment section right now with "uphold the glory." It's I mean, that really is like
that is their saying. Yeah.
Absolutely fanatical ND fans for life.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, and Erin, the one thing I love about this gym too is I remember the first time I came here when I was in high school. This is the first gym ever that actually had like a dedicated media section where camera people could perch. You got that wonderful second floor, so you've got incredible perspectives to really watch a really good competitive game.
Oh, for sure. I still remember these floors are actually pretty new. They put it back in 2019, so I still remember when they had the old flooring, and a lot of the alumni would comment when they would come in recent games that this floor is just still the same structure actually like that it's been in the past few years. So I think that anytime you have anything competitive, and he's ready to play.
Absolutely.
Did we invent crispy chicken? Nah, we just put it where it belongs, inside burritos and tacos, obviously. Extra saucy. 2 strips, huh? Look at that. Overachieving? Sure. Did you ask for it? No, but we did it anyway. Crispy chicken from Taco Bell, a brand new classic. You're welcome.
Giving Every Tuesday is brought to you by Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, One Love.
Giving Every Tuesday highlights the people and partnerships lifting up our island community, and one year-ending fundraiser is doing just that for local athletes. Century Hospitality's philanthropic initiative, I Care For, in partnership with Capital Kitchen, raised $19,525 through its 11th Signature Wine Dinner, benefiting Special Olympics Guam and the Guam National Badminton Federation. The fundraiser closed out the year by supporting inclusive year-round athletic programs and competitive opportunities for local Special Olympics athletes across Guam. This year's event featured a medieval-themed experience, a first for I Care For signature dinners. Guests embraced the theme, donning medieval-inspired attire, while enjoying fine dining and curated wine pairings with island beverage distributors, all in support of a community-driven mission. Proceeds were formally presented at the conclusion of Special Olympics Guam's fourth quarter badminton season, led by the Guam National Badminton Federation, directly benefiting ongoing training and competition for local athletes. With this week's Giving Every Tuesday, I'm Jonagan Charfris.
Giving Every Tuesday is brought to you by Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, One Love. News Bites is brought to you by Docomo Pacific, Better Together, and Fresco Clothing, original custom design apparel of Guam and the Marianas. Okay, everybody, getting the new year, getting the new week starting off right. We are going to start off with the Sharks run, right? The Sharks run the wave. This is a 5K and 2K for my alma mater, right? On the last day of the first month of the new year, the seniors, the seniors, yeah, the class of 26, are going to race down at Chamorro Village. They're actually hosting the race, but make sure to get involved. Very, very meager fee. We want you to participate. You can register at the Micronesia Mall on the 17th and 18th and 24th and 25th. Good job to all the Sharks, the seniors, doing great work over there. All right, running's always been like a big thing, even when I was in school there. Like cross-country track, always a big thing at Sanchez. All right, Tai Nai Animu II. This is a wonderful, wonderful cultural event. I was telling you about it last night on the news, and make sure to check it out because it is an exhibition that celebrates our culture, sacred waters, right? How the ocean, how the waters, what they represent to our culture, to our heritage, the symbolism they have, the functional purpose they serve. It's at the Guam Museum on the 10th from 3 to 7, not to be missed. Please make sure to check it out. And that list of artists and presenters and cultural practitioners, absolutely amazing. You are going to be very, very inspired by that. All right, Fresco Fest is, we've been telling you about this. The concert is happening on the 24th over at Ipaw Beach Park. And you know what? I was down in Ipan the other day doing a story, and I saw a sign for Fresco Fest down there. So make sure to get your tickets. You can either do it at frescoclothing.com or you can do it in person over at Jamaican Grill or these other fine establishments because the lineup is amazing. The weather is supposed to be really, really good that time of the month, and it's going to be incredible. So thanks to our friends at Fresco for putting on this incredible concert. And your NBA Game of the Week, we have a doubleheader once again. Mid part of the week, I was telling you, All-Star break right around the corner. It's going to be here before you know it. The Heat and the Wolves at 11, and the Mavs and the Kings at 2. Birthday shout-out time, so let's get right to tonight's celebrants. Happy blessed birthday, Case Pareto. We hope you enjoy your special day, my handsome boy. Love Grandma Lani, Vincent, and your Pareto family over in Jotnia Rules in the village, including the Carabao. Awesome, Case. We hope you had a wonderful birthday. And happiest of birthdays to Cassandra Fernandez. Hope your day is one where you feel all the love and blessings you give to us. Please enjoy your day with all the love in the world from your Auntie Joan. Want to wish your special someone a happy birthday? Just click the QR code here on your screen or email birthdayclub@kuam.com. My friends, we thank you as always for your visual patronage. Thank you so much for watching the live stream, and please have a pleasant Tuesday. We will see you tomorrow night. Bye-bye. Health, Home, and Lifestyle is brought to you by The Medical City, your trusted partner in health.
House to Home on KUAM is a local television segment or program in Guam.
That's right.
That focuses on topics related to homes, real estate, interior design, and lifestyle.
We do.
It airs on KUAM, which is Guam's leading TV and media network.
We are.
The show often features tips for homeowners, spotlights on local properties, interviews with real estate professionals, and advice on making your house feel more like a home.
Because that's what we do. That's right, my friends and fellow Guamanians. House to Home back once again. Brand new year, same show. We are showing you how to live a healthy island life, how to manage your property, how to get the very best value for what you own, and live happily and live healthy. We got so much stuff planned for you this month, this week, today. So let's get right into it. Here's what we got for you this week.
House to Home, presented by Remax Diamond Realty.
All right, everybody, Hafa and welcome to the first House to Home of 2026. Liz and Gina, I hope you had a wonderful, festive, relaxing, blessed New Year. And I know at least one of you, because in our little private chat the three of us had, one of you saw a lot of snow.
Yeah, Gina was able to see the snow. I was able to see the food.
I saw the snow.
City and food.
Okay, I've always said that the craziest thing, I used to work in a department store locally. The craziest thing we ever did was stock antifreeze. I don't know why anyone would do that on a tropical island, but
right?
I
never thought of that.
Okay, and Gina, as a proper island woman who's got roots like on Guam and in Palau and everything like that, how do you handle snow? I would rather sweat than freeze.
You know, actually, and I was just sharing with somebody today about that, with the right layers on, it was absolutely wonderful.
Okay.
You know what I don't understand? You know, the little kids, our grandchildren, they were out there like half dressed and they loved it. So I don't know. They just adapt so well.
Now there's a difference between it just being snowing, Liz, and snowing and windy. Snowing and windy is like no, I'm inside.
It's cold. I mean, Japan, Osaka and Nagoya was cold. We had to really bundle up. And once the wind starts to whip up, wow, the temperature just drops at that point. So definitely layering and thick coats made a big difference.
Again,
sure.
Well, you know, you can give me the green grass and the blue sky of our tropical island paradise anytime, and I will take that. And that is something that I definitely want to broker. Gee, what a wonderful segue, because we're talking about brokering today.
Yes, we are.
Yes.
See how I kind of like transition into that? We're starting 2026 that way, people. Yeah. Okay, so Gina, you actually picked the first topic of the year and everything like that, because this is something a new piece of legislation has been proposed by Senator Tello Taigui, who was one of the senators that you both and several of your colleagues endorsed last time about her stance on real estate. And she's actually trying to, shall we say, go ahead and frame it for us, like Gina, because this is a lot of the brokerage details.
Yeah, well, back in, when was that this first came up? August 2024, NAR mandated that whenever a buyer, and this applied to residential real estate.
Oh, the disclosure thing.
Yeah, the disclosure and buyer broker representation. And it was applicable. The NAR guidelines mandated that when we're working with a buyer, that prior to taking that buyer out, that we sit down in consultation with the buyer and go over a buyer broker agreement. So basically, the buyer goes into an agreement with their broker, their agent. And in the brokerage agreement, it details our responsibility to represent that buyer, what the compensation amount is going to be, how it's going to get paid, and under what circumstances that agreement could be canceled. And so that was mandated by NAR. Again, I think it was August 2024 that it went into effect as a mandate for us as members of the National Association of Realtors. All realtors here on Guam subscribe to that because we're all NAR members.
But now it's been filtered down to the local policymaking level too.
That's correct. That was Tello's bill, yeah.
Well, the reason for the bill was on Guam, there's a distinction between realtors who are part of the National Association, and we're under we have to follow the code of ethics, guidelines, all about the disclosure, which was dictated by the National Association of Realtors. However, on Guam, there are also real estate agents who are not part of the National Association and that do not fall under our code of ethics. So in the documentation of this bill, it means by law, every real estate agent and broker are subject to the law, meaning there's got to be representation in writing whenever a regular real estate agent takes people around, because we were the ones, it was dictated under the National Association. But because of this law, now every agent on Guam, whether you are part of the realtor group or you are licensed and not part of the group, you are subject to this law. So the law placed this across the board for all those that are licensed doing the real estate work. And part of it is, again, it's all about disclosure, defining who represents whom, whether we are representing the seller or a buyer or a tenant, and also discloses the compensation, who is paying what amount to whom, whether the compensation is coming from the listing side of the transaction or coming, who's going to pay for it. Either the buyer pays for it or the seller or both. So it actually breaks things down.
Now, ladies, I know obviously both of you agree in principle with the high level concept behind Senator Tadigwe's legislation. Let me go ahead and bring that up now so everybody can get a look at it. Whoops, there we go. Screen share. And here we are. Okay. Is there anything like mechanically that you like or find like really noteworthy or interesting as we kind of like scroll slowly through the fact that it has to be a brokerage agreement and, you know, disclosure is so like heavily enforced? When it gets down into the line by line mechanics of this proposed legislation, is there anything that really sticks out to you?
What stuck out to me was the fact that this law expanded on the NAR guidelines. It isn't just applicable to residential real estate. It's applicable to leases as well. It's applicable. I don't see it specifically saying that it's mandated towards commercial, but it does say leases in general. So what I would assume that if you're going to be working with a commercial lease or residential lease, that it would be applicable in those instances.
There you go. Yeah, the buyer or leasee's rights and obligations regarding compensation paid to the brokerage. So yeah.
Yeah, you need an agreement whether you're renting or buying. This law is applicable to both instances. And Liz just explained, you have to outline who, you know, so I think the thing that we're not used to yet, buyers are not used to this yet, is the fact that you have to pick your realtor now. It isn't just about calling on the sign. Yes, call on the signs, but before you call on the signs, if you're actually in the market to buy real estate, if you've decided that is, you know, that you're serious about buying real estate this year, what the first thing you need to decide on is who is going to represent your interest. Find a realtor that you feel strongly about working with, or interview a couple of people, you know, call around, ask your friends, ask your family members, or go online. There's a lot of people online nowadays who market their services, and then find somebody, call them, ask questions, see if you believe they're going to represent your best interest, find out how they're going to do it. You know, I mean, of course, I hate to say this, but we're all going to say we will represent your best interest. But how are you going to represent my best interest?
Of course, because every restaurant restaurant says we've got the best food like on the island, and now we can prove it because of A, B, C, D, and that's where the creativity comes in. That's where the innovation comes in, and you know, and ultimately the customer service shines through on that point.
That's right. And you know what I do when I get a call and I say, well, we saw your sign, or I'm interested in this property and it's listed with another agent. The first thing I would ask is, are you represented? Because I, as an agent or broker, cannot take you to see a piece of property if you've already signed a representation agreement.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Jamaican grill. Jamaican grill. Jamaican grill. What's for lunch and for dinner? You want something good? Yeah. Jamaican grill. Yeah, man, serious food.
Happy New Year, Guam! Plates, platters, and parties at your house or ours. Yaman, serious food for 2026.
And I always want to provide as much information on the front side so that they know which direction to go. And our job is to guide them and educate them. And if they don't know, then how can you best serve them without providing as much information as you can on the front side? That if this happens, then this is the direction we will take. Now, a buyer could go in and say, I am not represented. Again, we would say, okay, this is what it means. If you're not represented, who's looking out in your interests? And of course, if you have no knowledge of real estate and this is your first time buying, I think it's critical that you find, as Gina puts it, someone who knows how to guide you through the process versus going in unrepresented. And a seller could take advantage of you, Jason. You have no clue. And I'm asking X amount and you don't know what the market is because nobody's guiding you. And that's where a good realtor comes in.
And I would think, Gina, correct me if I'm wrong, but this also gives the realtors like the security and the peace of mind that me as a client, I won't all of a sudden be waffly or wishy-washy or vacillate or however you want to say it and jump from realtor to realtor to realtor, either because that's just what, that's just because the speed of the wind that day, or just because I feel weird. That gives you the right that I am going to be doing business with you today and for the term and the region outlined in the agreement.
Well, you know what it does? It gives the buyers clarity, real clarity. It explains to them the process, because before, that's exactly what was happening. You just call from sign to sign. But now, if you happen to call me on my sign, which is really what happens most often, right?
You have a very nice picture on your sign, by the way. Both of you do.
Oh, thank you, Jason. I always pray that my picture, when you see that picture or my card, that you will recognize me when we run into each other. That is the goal.
Mm.
But going back to the
so that means you're not going blonde anytime soon, I would assume.
Not ever.
You would look good as a blonde, I must say.
Okay. That's not happening, so I'm not going to think about it.
Okay.
But if they call me on the sign, what's happening is you're calling the listing agent, which is great. I'm going to give you every piece of information I can while I'm talking to you. But what I'm really trying to make an effort to do nowadays is I'm trying to take the time to explain to you the process. If you're really serious about buying a home, you need to understand that you need representation now. And for so many reasons. I mean, number one, by law, you need representation before you can actually walk into that house to look at it. And that representation doesn't have to be, I think Liz mentioned earlier, it could just be for each property, or you can sign a document saying, I'm unrepresented, but I need you to show me this house. Like if I were the listing agent and you wanted to look at my listing, I absolutely have no problem doing that for you. That is my job. The seller has, signed a contract with me to market the home. So if you call and you say, I have a buyer agreement with Liz and Liz is unavailable, shoots, come on down. I'll show it to you. And then just get the detail. I'll show it to you. I'll give you all the details that I'm authorized to give, that's already in MLS. And then you talk over everything else with your agent, Liz. But let's say you don't have an agent. Come on down anyway. And you have options now. You can sign the non-represented buyer agreement. So I don't have representation, Gina, but I want to look at the house, no problem. Or I'm going to explain to you what representation means so that you understand what these contracts mean. Now you're actually hiring somebody to represent your best interest. And that's important. And that's part of the transparency. That's part of the issue that came up with NAR with the lawsuit. And that's part of why this went into effect. And I believe that was the goal that GAR had in mind. We want transparency for buyers, for the tenants, for everybody that's dealing in real estate. This will give them transparency. And the other very important thing is whenever you hire somebody, you got to agree to pay them something. And the buyer broker agreement outlines what I'm going to get paid, what I expect to get paid, and it also outlines how you're going to pay me, whether you're paying me out of your pocket or you're going to ask the other side of the deal, which would be the seller or the landlord, to pay for that compensation. That is completely up to you, or you can add it into the price when you make an offer. That is up to the buyer. But all of those fine points, they're in the contract so that you understand everything. Moving forward, you know exactly what your obligations are going to be.
Absolutely.
And what to expect.
The principle and unchanging rule of 150 years of American business is money is exchanged for goods and services. You take any business 101 class, that's the first thing they tell you. You want to be a business major, you understand that and you commit that to memory.
And I think one of the changes in terms of representation, part of the suit with the National Association had to do with sellers that were complaining that they paid for the buyer's compensation. So now these rules and guidelines on clarity as to who pays what. So on Guam, we explain that to any potential buyer, that what if the seller won't pay the compensation for the buyer's agent? So these are discussions that have to be had on the front side. What if? And we've had situations where buyers had to pay either the full commission or a percentage of the commission. So again, all about disclosure, who pays who. And agents are out there working, not for free. As Gina puts it, we all are entitled to a living. And so the compensation, the question is, who is the compensation going to come from if you are buying a home? And is it coming from the seller, or part from the seller and part from the buyer? So again, educating them and saying these are scenarios that could happen, and we need to be prepared on the front end. And it's always good for Gina and myself to know if they tell us, well, I don't have the extra money. Well, then we're going to have to negotiate with the other agent to see what we can do to balance it out so this particular buyer can get the home they want and work out the details on the backside.
And I do believe we've now come full circle, because Gina, you actually set the tone for this entire discussion by saying, look around, ask around, find a realtor or find a brokerage or find an agency that really works for you. And at that point, when you want to seriously do business with them and, and get the property, then you can start talking about the agreements. But by all means, shop around, right?
Oh, you have to. I mean, it's like any good decision, any good purchase you make out there, you don't just do it on the fly. So now, because you have to sign that broker agreement in advance of looking at properties, you absolutely need to invest a little bit of time into figuring out who is going to represent your interests the best. And yeah, call around, make some phone calls, talk to family, talk to friends. Everybody has an opinion on something, so I'm sure they'll share theirs on this.
There you go. And you can find Liz and Gina's wonderful faces on their wonderful signs, along with their phone numbers, and they can talk to you and talk to this or about any other topic. So we are starting 2026 off right. We're going for what we always do on this show now, 10 years strong: education, opportunity, and a good positive mental attitude about this kind of thing.
I'm so sorry.
Business goes by so much easier, Liz. I'm sure you would agree when you got a smile on your face.
Definitely. But I've got to say, Gina and I love what we do. We love helping people find what it is they're looking for. That first and foremost, versus the compensation on the backside. We want to make sure there's a balance as well. So it's a great 2026 to start with.
There you go. Okay, well, ladies, have a absolutely wonderful, wonderful week. I know you didn't bring any snow back with you, but maybe next year, maybe in the winter.
I'm gonna bring a Ziploc next year.
I'm gonna hold you to that. All right, have a wonderful week. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Of House to Home, presented by RE/MAX Diamond Realty.
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience.
Weekly Renewal is brought to you by Calvo's Select Care.
Half a day. I'm Claire Calvo, bringing you your weekly renewal. I am back with Risha again for part 2 of the series. Half a day, Rish.
Half a day, Claire.
Okay, well, it's a new year.
Yes.
So last segment we focused on New Year's resolutions or intentions.
Yeah.
But this week I wanted to focus on something I have found to be incredibly helpful, and I think you might be just one, probably the only one on Guam who practices quantum hypnotherapy.
Yes.
So first of all, can you just share a little bit about what inspired you to become a practitioner?
For the quantum hypnosis?
Yeah.
Well, I noticed a couple of years ago, I think it was maybe 3 years ago when I got certified, hypnosis was starting to become a big thing in psychology. A lot of psychologists, counselors, therapists were saying hypnosis was helpful in their practice. So I started to do some research because there's quite a few out there, different types. And the quantum hypnosis was the one I was most drawn to. It kind of covers 2 parts. So yeah, I found it really interesting. And even for my own personal life, I wanted to jump into it and see, oh, what is this about? So I've been practicing it for 3 years now.
So explain, for those who are foreign to this, explain what that entails. I mean, I think when people think of hypnosis, they think of like, you know, some like talk show host who has it, invites someone, everyone just kind of falls asleep or barks like a dog or whatever.
Right, or does the thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's completely different. Hypnosis as a whole is completely different now. I think it just really, it brings you to, I forgot what the state's called, but the very relaxed state before.
Like alpha or?
Yeah, something like that. Something like that. Yeah, I think this one in particular that I do is supposed to bring you to the state right before you fall asleep. And from that state, you're completely relaxed. So we can kind of go into the subconscious and see what lies there.
And there's so much in the subconscious. They said the percentage of we're living our life and a certain percentage of the conscious and another percentage in the subconscious. And I just remember thinking like, oh my gosh, there's so much more in the subconscious going on.
Right, the inner world. There's so much in the inner world that we haven't even addressed, I think, as a human race. But
what did you find hypnosis to be helpful with that was like even more so than just going for counseling?
You know, there's a lot that I'm trying to think about.
Because counseling would just be more the conscious, whereas hypnosis would be more
the subconscious. Yes. I'm trying to think of all my clients and how they benefited from it. Because not everybody is open to it, but when you are, I find that it's really helpful. Most of them don't come back for a while after they get the hypnosis because they just got so much out of it. Yeah, and they're processing.
Well, it took me a couple years before asking you to do it again.
Yes, yours was really good. But the difference, okay, so there's places that we get to, memories or different areas in the subconscious that we get to explore that you don't really do in counseling. And then the second part is it kind of ties into what I do as a counselor. I try to bring people to their more compassionate state, their more loving state. And in the quantum hypnosis in particular, there's a part 2 where she calls it the subconscious, where you answer questions, and I feel like you answer from a place of love, where your guard is down, your fear is not there. I mean, there's a way to navigate it, so where you're not afraid, and you like intuitively answer your questions.
There's so much more to explore in this, and I would love for more people to, give it a try. So how could they reach you if they want to set up an appointment, or how does that work?
The best way is email. I think email racounselingservices@gmail.com.
Okay.
Email me. I'll send you back all the information you need to set up an appointment.
Exciting, and I will definitely be on that list as well. Before we close, is there anything else you want to share?
Yeah, just if you're open to that, if you feel, maybe you're disconnected from your intuition or something like that, give it a try. Give me a call, give Claire a call. You can ask her about her experience.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Reese.
Yeah, thank you.
Happy New Year. I will see you next week on your weekly renewal.
Weekly Renewal is brought to you by Calvo's Select Care.
Don't need a work break, keep the smile on your face. The moments you can't replace, and I'll be around. Whoa, you can count on me. You can count on me for life.
Wherever life takes you, we're always here for you. Calvo's Insurance. Count on us for life.
GU Self Storage, located in Harmon next to McDonald's, offers a variety of storage units. With rates starting as low as $95 per month, we offer complimentary use of dollies, push carts, Plines hand trucks, and pallet jack, with a fully covered loading and unloading areas and ADA accessible units. We offer 24-hour CCTV surveillance monitoring, alarm, and individual pin-coded gate and door access, because your safety is our priority. GU Self Storage, voted Pica's Best in 2024. Call 671-648-7867 today.
Now it pays to spread the Better Together experience. With our brand new referral program, you can earn up to $150 in account credits for every referral you bring in. That's right, family, neighbors, friends, even your coworkers. Just pass them your account name and account number. When they sign up for Docomo Pacific service and drop your info, cha-ching! Credit applied. So spread the word and start stacking those savings. Additional conditions may apply. Docomo Pacific, we're better together.
Did we invent crispy chicken? Nah. We just put it where it belongs, inside burritos and tacos, obviously. Extra saucy. 2 strips, huh? Look at that. Overachieving? Sure. Did you ask for it? No, but we did it anyway. Crispy chicken from Taco Bell, a brand new classic. You're welcome.